Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic hypersonic.
I'm Barry P. Cook, and I'm here to talk to you about the series premiere of Star Wars Skeleton Crew, which just aired last night. It was a two-episode premiere, and the first episode was called This Could Be a Real Adventure. As it starts, in the wake of the fall of the Empire, despite things being generally orderly in the galaxy, piracy in space has become a huge problem. A ship that one particular pirate captain thought was carrying a vault full of credits was apparently carrying only a single credit, and his crew does not take lightly to the loss of life of their colleagues for nothing, which occurred because it took some doing to board the ship, and some of the pirates' men died. Elsewhere, in a suburban neighborhood, a father who wears glasses for some reason leaves for work while his son, Wim, meets up with his elephant-looking type alien friend, Neil. And it's a new species, so it's called Neil's species. But anyway, before getting on the hover school bus, they play a little Jedi versus Sith on the sidewalk. Wim apparently wants to be something akin to a Jedi when he grows up, in a society where people's career paths are arranged for them after they take a test which determines what their career should be. A mechanically inclined girl named Fern races a dual-passenger hover motorcycle speeder bike type vehicle on weekends behind her mother's back, though her current power converter needs replacing. When Win oversleeps and misses the bus the next day, he too has to fly a hover motorcycle speeder bike type thing, but he ends up crashing it and lands in a ditch where he seems to find some kind of a door buried under the dirt, which he seems to think is a Jedi temple, before he's rescued by a truant officer type droid that takes him to school. He ends up being told that he can take the career assessment test he missed the next day, but instead of going home after this, as he's supposed to, he goes with Neil into the woods to investigate what he found. When he gets there, he finds that Fern has beat him to it because she went there ahead of him with her racing partner, KB, after she overheard him telling his father what he thought he had found. Before long, the four of them get it open and venture inside, accidentally getting locked in. When Neil and the girls follow a power conduit to its source so they can get the power back on to hopefully open the door and get out, Wim goes off exploring in a different direction on his own. With the power back on, Wim touches a flashing button despite the advice over walkie-talkie of Fern, and the kids find themselves being launched towards the sky on what is apparently a very, very large and well-buried starship, and then soon find themselves in orbit and going to hyperspace, and that's where the first episode ended. The second episode was called Way, Way Out Past the Barrier, and as it starts, the ship comes out of hyperspace, and our four heroes, as it were, are approached by a newly powered up droid named SM-33, played by the great Nick Frost, who tries to take them to the captain, only for Fern to tell him that she killed the captain and is, in that case, now his new captain, at which point she orders him to show her how to fly the ship, but then flies it himself when she tells him they want to go back to her planet, which is called At-Aten. When the droid doesn't know where that is, Fern orders him to take them to a spaceport where they can ask someone how to get home. Just before the ship arrives at the starport, Wynn discovers a couple of skeletons, which, instead of horrifying him, seem to excite him. Aboard a space station at the port, they find themselves very much in a Mos Eisley type situation before getting separated. After causing a bit of a ruckus, the boys find themselves reunited with the girls, who've already disclosed to the denizens of the station that they're from At-Aten, which is apparently considered to be a mythical planet of some worth and not real. They're then menaced by a number of said denizens, but end up being rescued by the droid from their ship, though the rescue is short-lived as they find themselves captured by the pirates from before and put in the brig, where they encounter Joss Nanawood, who uses the Force to retrieve the key to the cell so that they can all escape, much to their amazement. And that's where the second episode ended. So, Disney Star Wars has gotten a really bad rap over the years, and there's no way to deny that it's been hit and miss at the very least. I mean, it's had some real stinkers, but it's also had some real successes, if you ask me. And I thought this show was pretty good. I don't think it's going to be for everybody. If you liked, movies like The Goonies and, Explorers and Jumanji, the one with the kids, the original one. If you liked movies like Super 8, to name something more recent, Stranger Things, these shows that really focus on the interdynamics of kid relationships and kids bumbling their way into crazy adventure type situations, then you're gonna like this. And, add to that spaceships and weird looking aliens and all of the trappings of sci-fi, then you're gonna like it because that's all there. If you don't like shows that are, or movies that are of that nature, then you're not gonna like it. Myself, I liked it. I really liked Super 8. I liked Stranger Things. I haven't seen the original Jumanji, sad as that is to say, or for that matter, Goonies. I've never seen Goonies. I know it's terrible, but anyway, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a strong opening. You've got this mystical planet that they're from, which they don't know is a mystical planet in terms of how the rest of the galaxy sees it. But why is it mystical and why is it hidden under this barrier? Like, what's there? What's this treasure, that they talk about what's its worth? And now that they said they're from there, what are the pirates going to do to try to find it? And, so I thought the setup was good. And, we got a new species, at least one in Neil's species, which is pretty cool. And, Jude Law is a good actor, so we're gonna get to see what his deal is. Was he a Jedi or is he just Force sensitive, or what's going on there? So I thought the setup was good, and I'm looking forward to watching the remaining 6 episodes. I was a little bit sort of put off by the fact that you know the main characters live in what looks like uh, an Earth American suburban neighborhood. It's just kind of weird. Like the houses even look like normal houses. They don't look like futuristic dwellings. And they have lawns and it just looks out of place for Star Wars. I mean, obviously on Coruscant, it's a city planet. So they have skyscrapers, which is, obviously a thing from Earth, but like it's exaggerated to a crazy extent. So, and all the other planets we've seen where people kind of just live ho hum day-to-day lives have been really futuristic looking and don't look like, the street that the Brady Bunch lived on or the street that the Desperate Housewives lived on. Yet here we have that. So it's a little odd. I mean, in one of the prequel movies, there was that diner that kind of resembled a 50s diner, and the owner or the cook like wore traditional sort of diner cook clothes. So it was a little odd as well. So it's not like we haven't seen it before, but that is kind of silly. Like, why is that happening? I mean, obviously the people in the Star Wars universe do things that people in real life on Earth do. They have bars, they have music. We've known that since the first episode, but the bars don't look like bars look in real life. They look weird. So why did the houses where these people live on this at Atten look so Earth-like? It's kind of bizarre. So there's that. But I don't think we're going to see much of that as the next 6 episodes unfold. We'll probably see a little bit of it because obviously the parents are going to want to find their kids, so we might see some of that. And if they get home by the end of the season, we're going to see it again. But I doubt we'll see very much of it, and it's just going to be space stuff. So hopefully, we won't have to worry about this sort of odd aspect of the show going forward. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think it's a good setup. I like the kids. I think the kids are cool. They're good characters, although Wim is kind of a shithead, right? Like he just keeps touching stuff when he knows he shouldn't and just getting everybody into trouble because he can't behave himself. So I'm kind of not liking him completely because he's a screw up. But anyway, hopefully there's going to be some character development there. We'll have to see what happens over the next 6 episodes. But anyway, that's really it. So I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back with another video soon. Until I return, may the force be with you.